Right. Now we have seen basics of what is the HTTP, what is the format of your messages, what is the format of your messages, what is the probable error codes what we are going to receive, what is the format of request, format of response. Similarly, we will quickly understand two basic information. One is a post, other one is a get. Get is the method which is used to retrieve the data from the server. If you are requesting any data from the server, we go for a method called get. Get is the method which is used to request any data from the server. If you are making a get request, if you are making any get request, if your request format is a get, we will have HTTP request as this. Header will be there, but there will be no body. If the request is a get, if the request format is a get, it will only have header, body will not be there in the message. Why? Because you are not sending any data, you are requesting the data which is there in the server. In case, if you want to send any data to the server using a get method, in the URL only we have to give. How do you give it? Now, I want to pass a record ID. salesforce.com/fh/page question mark ID equal to. Now, I am saying open this page based on the ID what I am passing. So, you are passing data to the server. What data you are passing? ID of the record. So, if you want to pass any data to the server, the data should be passed in the URL only. If your method is get method, if the method is get, if the method is get whatever the data you want to transfer, if your method is get whatever the data you want to transfer, that data should be in the URL only. If it is again I repeat, if the method is a get method, only you will have header, there will be no body. If the method is a get, in the request message only header will be there, there will be no body, there will be no body. And if you want to pass any data to the server, the data need to be passed in the URL only, because there is no body. If there is no body, how will you pass? Using URL. The moment if I say it is a URL, the length of the URL there is a restriction. You cannot pass a lot of data in the URL. There is a limitation on the length of the URL. So whatever the length of the URL limitation is there, same thing will be applied. So if you are requesting any data from the server and basic information, if you want to pass to retrieve your data, that information will be passed in the URL, as request doesn't have any body. Right? So what is the purpose of get method? Purpose of get method is data is already on the server, we are requesting the data. Then I give head. Boss, I don't want the data. I want the information about the data. What is the information? What type of data they are going to send? If I make a request, what type of data you are sending? How many records you are sending? What is the length of the data? I want to know header information. I don't want the response. I want the response header. In the response, what will be there? Response header, blank body. I don't want the response body. I want only response header. I just want to know the properties of the response. I don't want the response. I came to you, asked, boss, what type of examination you are going to conduct? You told it is going to be a quantitative exam. Now I just want to know format of your exam. I'm not asking you the exam paper. I came here, I know the format of the exam is okay, quant. Okay, I am conveying the message. Boss, when you go there, the examination will be in the form of quant. When you are writing the exam, you will give a question paper, which is a body of the request. Now, I am not interested on the body of the response. I am only interested on the properties of the response. So, you don't want a body, you want only header. So, what was that called? Header. If you say head, it is only looking for what? Response, header. In this also, message will have only header. No body will be there. Here we have. Now, I want to delete. We are also giving what? Head. Generally, when you go for head, okay, head, get, delete, what we have? Header will be there, body will not be there. Right? When you go for the operation of get, head, delete, you will have only header of the request, body will not be there. Anything you want to pass it in the URL. So, what are the other things we have? Post. Post. When you want to say post, I am asking you to insert the data. Now, when you are asking to insert the data, now I want to pass some data. So, what will happen? Whatever the data you want to insert, that will be in body. So, this is the format of post. Post is for what? Inserting the data in the server. Put is what? Updating the server in the server. Insert the data, update the data. Insert the data, update the data. So, when you go for a post or a put, you will have header, blank, body. Whatever the information you want to pass that information in body. So, in the get method, you will be passing the data in the URL. In the post method, you will be passing the data in the body part of this. I hope you are good, right, boss? So, these are the generally used methods. Okay. Now, let us come back to the main picture. How do you implement all these in the Salesforce? Now, for the JSON, there is a JSON generator class, JSON parser class, DOM.document class, XML node class. So, these are some of the predefined classes what we have for handling JSON, for handling XML. Similarly, if I want to create HTTP request, if I want to create HTTP response, if I want to send a request, get a response, what are the supporting classes we have in the Salesforce? So, in the Salesforce, we have three main classes. HTTP class, HTTP class, HTTP request, HTTP response. HTTP class will have only one method, which is called send. What this method will do? It will send a request, receive a response. This method has only one method, which is called send. It will send a request, receive a response. So, what was that? Request. This is the method. Generally, we are going to create request, p dot send. So, what was that? We had HTTP, P equal to new HTTP, HTTP request, and HTTP response. P dot send request, it is going to give you a response. Okay. Now, what you put in the request, what you put in the response, we'll see down. So, what was the class? HTTP class. This class have the method called send, which will send a request, receive a response. Right, boss? I hope you are good. Okay. Everything is already there in the hard copy what I give. Listen to the class. People are always happy to. Still, J2 habits are not gone. Right. Let's go with the next one. What was the HTTP request? This class is used to create request message. This class is used to create request message. When you want to make a request, first point, what is the resource you are requesting? On that resource, what you want to perform? What is the resource you are requesting? On that resource, what you want to perform? These are the two key points here. What is the resource you are requesting? On the top of the resource, what you want to perform? So first one we had set input. What was the endpoint? URL of the resource to which you are making a request. Then set method. The method name. What type of method name we have? Tell me the method names. Get, put, post, put, delete. Okay, trace. We have head. This type of methods will be there. Set endpoint. Set method. Set header. You want to pass key value. Setting the header parameters like session ID. This is the value. API key, this is the value. Content type, the accept, this is the value. Okay, accept language, this is the value. So you want to set the header values, right? So what is the header value? Which language you are accepting? Which type of content you are accepting? Which type of language you are accepting? Which type of encoding you are accepting? Now, encoding type, this is the value. Language, this is the value. Accept, this is the value. We are putting the properties in the form of what? Key value pair. In the request, if you want to pass any properties, how they are set? Key value pair. Set endpoint, set method, set header. In case if you want to set any body, set body. Set body. In case if you want to pass any information like post method is there. When it is a post method, what will happen? When it is a post method, what will happen? We need to pass some data. So we will be passing the data. Endpoint, set method, set header, set body. Now next, set session timeout. Set the timeout. Now within what time the response has to come? Now, when I say timeout, if I give timeout as 10 seconds, within 10 seconds, one communication message should go between you. Either you send or he send. Now we are going to communicate. Now I am talking to you. The timeout is 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, either you have to send a message to me or I have to send a message to you. Otherwise, it will expire. Now, when you say session timeout, now within the timeout, one message has to be exchanged between the system. Who sends the message doesn't matter. But one message needs to be exchanged between the system. When you and me are talking, I told 10 seconds is the time frame. Within that 10 seconds, for every 10 seconds, one message has to be exchanged minimum. Now I told you send a hi, within 10 seconds I have to reply. Or you send the second hi, third hi. So within every 10 seconds, one message should be exchanged between two systems. Who sent that doesn't matter, which is called session timeout. Session timeout. Okay. The next, maximum timeout is 2 minutes. Maximum session timeout is 2 minutes. 2 minutes is very long time. Maximum session timeout is 2 minutes. Maximum can wait for 2 minutes. What we can give. Right. Let us look at the methods. What we had. Quickly give the methods. First one. Okay. First one, set endpoint, URL of the method. Second, set method, name of the method. Third one, set header, set body, set body. If you want to pass any information, set body as a blob. In case if you want to pass the data of the document, data in the form of binary, let us say I want to transfer a file. If you want to transfer a file, how will you transfer? Convert the file in the form of binary and send it. Now text file, binary files. If you want to send any files, it should be in the form of what? Blob. Or else we have a username password. I don't want to send it directly. I want to encrypt it, convert it in the form of binary and send it. Then I want to encrypt the data and send it. Once the data is encrypted, it will be in the form of binary only. Once the data is encrypted, it is in the form of binary. So in case if you want to pass any documents, files or binaries, we'll go with set body as blob. Set body as blob. For every set, there will be corresponding get. Okay. Get methods are used in test classes. Set document body. What was the document body? In case if you want to send a dom.document, the dom.document will be what? It will be XML. Then we'll say what? Set document body. Then compressed. You want to compress the file and send it? We have set header, passing the value in the form of key value. Set timeout. For every method of set, there is a get. But when you are sending a request, the get is not required for it. But while writing a test class, to what you have set, get that value and cross check you have set rightly or not. Right. So set header, get key. Set body, get body. Set endpoint, get endpoint. Set document body. Set body document. Get document body. Set blob body. Get blob body. So for every set there is a corresponding get. But what is the major functionalities in this? Set endpoint, endpoint, set endpoint, set method, set body, and set header. These are the four key methods. Set endpoint, set method, set body, set header. These are the four important methods. Set endpoint, set method, set body, set header. Header, body, endpoint, method. These four are important. Similarly, when you get the response, what will be the response here? While taking a response, get body, get status. We are going to set it. Get body, get status, get body, get the body as blob, get the body document, get header, get status. Get status. Now we'll see one by one. Right. Instead of by hearting, let us go with the examples and see one by one method. So basic format is clear, I guess. I hope everyone is good with this example, right? Basic structure. Let us create. Okay. Let us create the first example. Now, in this example, they are using HTTP protocol, endpoint. This is the endpoint. Then, what type of method is this? If you are passing the data in the URL, obviously it is what? Get method. Authentication. Are you using any authentication? It's an open URL. There is no authentication. It's open for everyone. Right. Now I'm making here public. public void guys. Now first we are creating. What was the purpose of this HTTP? Right. Then we make it. So how I am doing? HTTP request equal to request. Then I am giving request dot set the endpoint to which you want to make a request. Set the request. Set the method. Request dot set method. Request dot set method. Then send the request, get the response. Response equal to p dot send request. I told HTTP class will have a method called send. When you send a request object, we are going to get a response object. Now look at this method here. Now we'll try to understand. Because we are getting a response, we will try to understand the response methods first. Because we are getting a response, we will try to understand the response method first. We want to know what are the header elements are there in the response. So look at this one. Set header get, where is our get header keys. We say get header keys. What type of value we are getting? Any. So once you know the key, I know how to get the value. So what I will do here? Public list of string in the response. What type of headers we are getting? We'll see the body later. First, let us understand the header. Once you understand the header, we know what type of elements we are getting, what type of response we are getting. If it is an XML, I will parse like XML. JSON, I will parse like a JSON. First, I need to understand it. Okay. This is what I give. So I created endpoint, created a method, sent a request, received a response. In the response, I am getting only header. Response header, response body. I am not getting response body. I am only getting response header elements first. Now, whatever the URL we have, copy this URL. It has to be registered as remote site settings. Any third-party system to which you are trying to connect, that should be registered with the remote site settings. Then only request will be approved. So what should I do? Go back. Security controllers. Remote site settings. Only the base URL will be taken. Host name will be taken. Register with the remote site setting. Then let us go to the Visual Force. value equal to action equal to, I give this, then I was giving here I was giving this is how I give it. So go back to this. Let me give my IP address, or you trace your IP address. IP address. Search. When I search, when I gave IP address and gave search, now what are we getting? Xcache, server, Xcache lookup, connection, vary, content length, data, content type. These are the properties in the response header. These are the properties in the response header. Now what I want to do, now I want to get one by one element. I hope you are good with this. Now we got a response. In the response, I am taking only header keys. In the response, I am taking only header keys. Now I will put here public map string object. Let us understand one by one element. What I am going to take for string s. Then what I am giving? Response map dot put, or else object result equal to response dot get header. What is the key? Now all the header elements are where? All the keys in the response header. We are going to get all the keys in the response header. Take one by one key. Take one by one key from the response header and get their value. Put them in a map. Now what I am doing, we got a result here. Now it is response map dot put s comma response. Now what I am doing, first we got what I have done. First I get all the keys. In the header we have key value pair. This is the key, this is the value. First I got all the keys. When you know key, we know how to get the value from map. In the header, the key header elements are in the form of key value. If you know the key, we know how to get the value. So I have taken the key, got the value, put them in the map. Go back to this now. I need to give now instead of header this property, and we have the corresponding value here. X column value equal to f of a. We are displaying a map in the page block table. We are displaying a map in the page block table. Go back to this. Still, we are not done with body. We are only dealing with header. In the response, what is the header we are getting? So, look at the format here. Look at the format here. We are getting the response here. Correction, content, content type, date, server. From which server we are getting? What server they are using? Accept encoding, proxy. This is how we are getting the properties. Now this is the header. Once the header is received, now I want to get the body. This is the properties from the response. This is the property from the response. Once I receive the property from the response, I want to get the body of the response. Now look at this. Anyone has any query on this till now? What I have created? Everybody is good. Instead of straight away taking a body, I have taken the header. And I was trying to display the properties what are there in the header. Now what I want to do, I want to get the result. How do you get the result? Result equal to response dot. Now once you receive the result, once you receive the body, what you do with this your body is your choice. I cannot tell what you want to do with the body. Now my point is how to make a request to third party, get the response. Once you got the response, what you do with the data is your business requirement. According to your business requirement, whatever you want to do, you can make it. So here what I am doing, I'll go with input text area. Now what is the response I received now? In the form of this response. Once I receive the response in this format, what should I do? So you made a request to third party people give you response in the form of XML. Once they give you a response in the form of XML, what I want to do, parse this XML and get the data. Once you get the data, it is your choice whether you want to store in a table, whether you want to update to a table, or you want to store XYZ. Now what is my requirement here? What is my requirement? Now you made a request to third party has sent you the response, and the response is coming in the form of XML. Once I receive the response in the form of XML, you have to deserialize this XML and get your data. So let us see here. I'll deserialize. First understand the format of this XML. If you want to write a code, you should understand what is the format of your XML. This is how we got. So we have result is a root element, child element is result. Under the child element we have IP, host, ISP, ORG, region, country code, latitude, longitude, queries. Now first let us deserialize and take the data. Once you deserialize and take the data, then we decide what to do with this. How do you deserialize? How do you deserialize? In the previous cases, what I have done, in the previous cases, last class, I have taken my own dummy data and deserialized. Now we made a request to third party. Third party has given this response. Now I have to deserialize it. So what we do? DOM dot document DOM dot document, then doc dot load whatever the XML you want to deserialize, load the document. Then DOM dot XML load root equal to doc dot root element. The root element will be, in our case, then we are supposed to get the corresponding child. Now get the child element. Root dot get child element. What was that? Elements is okay, but it's a single element is that elements. Okay. Now if it is a child element, what I have to do, boss? List of chains. Then I was supposed to take one by one element, parse it. How do you parse it now? It has childs. Then take the loop. Now based on the XML structure, we need to parse it. Then what is the map we got? XML map dot put c dot get text or get value. Now get name, get come again. Map is the mistake.
Get text.
Yeah. So let us take this. So what was this? This is going to give result. This is going to give result sub. And take one by one element from the result. The name and value. This is how we got it. Now what I'm doing, instead of using input text area now, I'll put the page block table only. Here I have to give XML map. XML map. So go back to the top. What was that? Key not found. What was the key not found? Result map of P. Let us go back here once again. XML map, string. Let me check the error now. Column in page map key country code not found in the map. So just let me check. There is a parsing error. Let me check what was the issue here.
Satish, in this table column value should be XML map, right?
Yeah, you're right. Just copy pasted the code, right? So it should be. I just copy pasted the code. I didn't modify the map. So we received country code, IP. So these are response header and the response body, which was a deserialized, and we got it. Now once you got this data, you want to insert this data into a table. Now write a DML operation to insert the data. Now our point is how to make a request, how to get the data. Once you got the data, what you do with the data is exclusively your business requirement. I hope you are good with this. So in this request, what I am receiving, basically our web service call is only till here. This is our web service program. Then once you got the data, how to serialize, how to use it is your regular Apex program. Web service only 3 lines: request, endpoint, okay, method, send a request, get the response. Later on, once you got the body, what you do with the body is your requirement. Whether you want to deserialize it or you want to use it in the same way, or you are getting a JSON or XML, it is up to your choice. I hope you are good with this example. Clear for everyone? Follow everyone?
Sir, what is IP address, sir? You're setting endpoint plus IP address,
No, sir.
and you're also showing.
Hold for a minute. This request is a third-party system. If you give IP address, they'll tell you your complete details. That is a requirement. If you give IP address to the application, if you give IP address, they'll tell you your location, every information. That is their application. So I'm making a request to that application by giving my IP address and asking, boss, give me the details of my IP address. Who is my service provider? In which location this IP address is? Now, based on the IP address, they want to track where you are. Who is the provider? In which location you are taking? That is the service provider. The third party application is giving. So from Salesforce, I am giving my IP address, getting the details. Did you get my point? Yeah. Now go ahead with your query now.
Okay, got it.
If you want to receive the data in hello.
See, now the funda is you cannot command service provider. What service provider is giving, you have to take. I cannot go to bank and say, I will open a locker. If it is available, they are giving. Now you can request the whatever the format. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic, boss. If you are requesting, if the service provider is giving the response in XML, you have to take an XML and use it. Now you cannot demand a service provider. Now if both of them are your own application, then you may say, boss, send it to the JSON or XML. But if he is offering two formats, you can say, I want this format. Otherwise, whatever the service provider is giving, only that you have to take. Let us take an example. You are going with a YouTube. Now, can you make a request to YouTube and say, give me a response in XML? No. You'll go through the YouTube documentation. Whatever the format in which they are giving, you have to take that format and parse it. You cannot request the server that I want in this format. If they are providing an option to you that, boss, I have a XML and JSON, what you want, you can request specified format. Otherwise, whatever the service provider is giving, the same you have to approve it. Now, you cannot say, I want the same response in XML, same response in JSON. Whatever they are giving, take it and use it. Right, boss? I hope you are good with this.
Right. In endpoint URL, we should specify complete parser.
Endpoint URL in this case, obviously. Now,
No, in always we should just specify the complete path in endpoint URL.
Now, people need to understand 2 points again. A relative path, absolute path. Now, again the same example. There are 2 paths here, relative path and absolute path. Now, in the Salesforce, you are using a component called section header. Now, what was this? A relative path. What was this? Absolute. Now, if I give this URL, what will happen? They'll ask you to enter username password first. If you want to use this path, api5.salesforce.com/fx/page, they'll ask you to enter the username password first, because you cannot request a page directly later. You are giving /fx/page because I already logged in. I logged into Salesforce. If I say /fx, automatically based on my session, they'll go and identify fx and page. Because you are working on the Salesforce, you already logged in. There is a session for you. There is a reason if you give fx/page, it is able to recognize the page from your location. If you're not logged in, if you give api5.salesforce.com/fx/page, you have to log in first. It will ask you enter your username password first. Now the above one is relative, below one is absolute. Now if I am making a request to third party, you have to give absolute path. Because you didn't log into those people. A simple example, boss. I ask you what is the address of Capital Info Solution. I will tell come to India, come to Telangana, come to Hyderabad, come to Maitravanam. From Maitravanam come to Satyasai. What is it? Building, boss? Shamla Plaza. Come to 3rd floor. You'll see my class. Right. Even you are already in Hyderabad, will I say come to India, come to Telangana, come to Hyderabad? I'll give addresses. Come to Maitravanam, come to Shamla Plaza, 3rd floor. My class is there. Right. You already there in the Hyderabad, then I'll give only the path from there. If you're not in the Hyderabad, you're coming somewhere, complete path I have to give you. That is the absolute path. If you're already in Hyderabad, relative path. If you are making a request to third party, that means you're not working with those people. You didn't log into those people. So you are supposed to give 100% absolute path. So in the integration, if you are making a request from your own org, if you are requesting a data from your own org, whichever the org to which you logged in, from that org you want to fetch the data, a relative path you will be giving. But this integration is coming from where? From Salesforce. I am connecting to some Utrace server. That is an external system. So what should I give? Absolute path or relative path? It is absolute path. 90% of the integrations are absolute path. unless you are requesting any data from your own org. You are requesting a page from your own org, requesting the data from your own org, you will go with the rate. Otherwise, 100% is going to be absolute path. Right? I hope you are good with this. Yeah. Next, any other queries?
Satish, can you explain this program one more time?
One minute.
Both Apex program.
1 minute, online 1 minute. Yeah. See, now the point is, now I want to make this open for everyone. Now Google is there. Now are you logging in to see the Google content? No, right? You straight away give the Google URL and use it. Why? Because it's open. It's open. It's not authenticated. Now if you want to access your email, now it is authenticated. Okay. If you want to access your online banking account, right? Authenticated with authentication. Right. So not every resource is available open. Not every resource is authenticated. Are you clear about it? Now Salesforce documents are there, help documents. That's open for everyone. Now the same Salesforce you want to log in, authentication is required. So it depends upon the availability of resource and the visibility of the resource given by the organization. Okay. Any other? Okay. So now in this program, what was your integration code? HTTP equal to new HTTP. Why you have given this? Because you want a method to send a request. Then you are supposed to create a request. Now HTTP request equal to request new HTTP request. So what we have? Request dot set endpoint. Request dot set endpoint. Setting the endpoint of your request. Then we have set method. When I say set method, what we are going to have? What type of method is that? To which URL you are sending a request? What is the method of your request? Then send the request, get the response. I made only set endpoint, set method, send response is coming. Now you want to take only body. You want to take only body of the response. No need to have all this. No. Now to tell you how to retrieve the body, I have given the code. How to retrieve the parameters of header, I given this. If you are looking for only body, then what is that? This is enough. Now look at this. If you don't want to parse also, you simply want a response, that's all. You don't want to parse also, then this is also not required. Simply we say response dot get body. Response dot get body. Now what is that? Once we got the response, that is integration is done. With the line number 23, integration is completed. From line number 13 to 23 only integration code. Integration is completed. There is an integration. You send a request, you got a response. That's the close of the integration. Then once you got the response, now to make it convenient for you, you are converting the data in the form of JSON, converting the data in the form of XML, and you are using it. That's your Salesforce application requirement. It's not external system application. Now once you made a request, what I am doing here? Now I want to know what are the header elements are there. So what is the method we have? Get header keys. Response header key value. Response header will be in the form of key value. Request header is also in the form of key value. I want to know what is the key, what is the value. So first get all the keys. Once you got the keys, can you get the value from the map? What is the value? Map dot get of key will give you value. That's what I have done. Fetched all the keys. One by one key I have taken, brought the corresponding value. I have put them in a map. Why did I put in a map? Because I want to display. You don't want to display, you want to insert a record, no need of writing this logic. See, this logic is coming because of your requirement only. Because I want to display them in the VF page, I kept in a map. I don't want to display in the VF page, I want to insert a record, then straight away I'll go with what? Key value. Right? Then we got that. Then what I have done? I want to convert the response in the form of map. So response is in the form of XML. So I have taken XML. Then I have deserialized it. I hope you are good. Clear? Clear for everyone? Everyone followed? Pakka? Write the code. Everyone has followed, right? Start writing the snippet of the code now. Now make a HTTP protocol. Make a snippet of the code. Only request response. Write the code for sending a request and getting the response. Using this parameter, using the parameters what I have given here, make a request and get the response. Write the code, only the snippet. Don't write entire program. Only the code to create a request, get the response. Only the code to create a request and get the response using this URL.
Satish?